Kanina, sinabi rin po ni Congressman Marcoleta, is a cherished tradition to approve the budget immediately. But there's a cherished tradition that when we deliberate a budget of any agency,
are inclined to honor the tradition, contrary to the manifestation of the Honorable Marcoleta. However, Madam Chair, what happens if the tradition is not sufficient? What happens if the tradition is not effective? What happens if the tradition does not unite and instead it divides?
Please proceed with that with due courtesy to the Honorable Abante, Madam Chair, because we also have other meetings to attend to and we have a lot of members listed. So with that, Madam Chair, I hope that we put a period on that issue. Maraming salamat po. Yes.
Madam Chair, parliamentary inquiry.
The Honorable Abante.
It is also a cherished tradition in Congress that whenever we deliberate the budget of a certain agency, that the head of the agency must be present. At this point in time, there are no staff here. The head of agency present on the office of the Vice President. And we only have a DBM here. A DBM even answered that only, the COA even answered that only the OVP could be able to answer that. Perhaps we could be able to say it. Kanina, sinabi rin po ni Congressman Marcoleta, is a cherished tradition to approve the budget immediately. But there's a cherished tradition that when we deliberate a budget of any agency, that the head of agency should be present. That is my parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Chair.
So, as we had explained earlier, we received a letter dated 10 September. At doon sa liham na yon, pinaliwanag ng ating Vice Presidente na sinubmit na po niya lahat ng mga documents na sa tingin niya ay kakailanganin ng Kongreso sa ating pagkilatis ng kanyang budget.
Yes, Madam Chair.
And so yun po ang sitwasyon natin sa ngayon. Pwede natin, pagkatapos ng ating interpellation, pwede natin desisyonan kung anong gagawin. Pero sa ngayon, ipapagpatuloy muna natin ang pagtatanong.
Madam Chair, let me explain. No? But her letter, actually, na her not being present here, is an insult to this institution. When we had the last hearing, I even questioned her if this institution has the right to scrutinize the budget, and she even failed to answer. My goodness, I think that her writing a letter to us telling us that she has completed this, she still must be present, Madam Chair. And because she is not present, she is actually insulting the second institution that should scrutinize the budget of the Vice President. And I do not care even if she is the Vice President, Madam Chair. I will not allow that Congress will be insulted by the head of any agency.
Duly noted.
But Madam Chair, whatever your decision might be, I would concede to it.
Salamat po. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and salamat Kong Benny. Akala ko po ako yung subject ng point of inquiry ninyo. Natakot po doon, pero salamat po. And I share the frustration and lament that. And actually, as you can see based on my interpellation, although, yes, we're able to get these questions out in the open, wala po tayong actual sagot na nakukuha, unfortunately. And this is by no fault of the COA. We appreciate your attendance here and your answering to the best of your abilities. But it's just that precisely the questions here relating to the budget of 2025, understandably, you will not be able to answer. With that, Madam Chair, I have other questions here. And supposedly at this juncture, lahat na po ito ay targeted, directed po dun sa OVP. But just to point it out po, no, going back to what the COA mentioned regarding the percentage of variance, yung over po nga ng Cebu and Bohol was 70%. As compared naman yung under for Panay and Negros Islands, 276% po. So hindi po maayos yung pag-distribute throughout the regions. It seems to be they were done equally. They were equally cut. And I think this would definitely have an effect on the operational effectiveness of yung mga satellite offices and extension offices. But anyway, I leave it to the body to decide on what to do with this. And I will now conclude my interpellation. Thank you very much, COA. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Right. Salamat. Next to interpellate from the majority. Before
Chair.
you begin,
Point of order, Madam Chair.
what is your point of order? And what is the rule being violated?
I do realize the kindness of our colleagues here. And I really appreciate that kindness, Madam Chair. But we are facing a blank wall. My goodness, without the presence of any of the officers and officials of the Office of the Vice President, we are facing a blank wall here, Madam Chair. And that's my point of order, because I really appreciate the kindness of my colleagues here in this briefing. Masyado tayo naging mabait, Madam Chair, and I would think that it is time for us to realize that we should not allow any head of agency to further insult the authority of Congress to scrutinize the budget, Madam Chair. That is my point of order.
Madam Chair, very quickly, Madam Chair. Yeah, if I may.
Kong Abante, I believe that was a manifestation, not a point of order. So yes, we note your manifestation and we proceed to the Honorable Garin.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. With due courtesy to my mentor and, of course, a legislator who have been here for long. We admire and we respect the context of the Honorable Abante. However, Madam Chair, I believe this issue has been deliberated for several hours already since we started. With that, Madam Chair, even with the absence of the Vice President, but with the presence of other officials here, and with members who would like to ask questions, can we please proceed with that with due courtesy to the Honorable Abante, Madam Chair? Because we also have other meetings to attend to and we have a lot of members listed. So with that, Madam Chair, I hope that we put a period on that issue. Maraming salamat po.
Yes, and let me just thank you, Honorable Garin, and let me just add a few more points. First is, kung naalala niyo po, nung huling hearing, yung ating representative mula sa COA, yung si Assistant Commissioner Juliano, ay wala siya masyadong naibigay na information dahil hindi naman po siya yung individual na nakakaalam nung mga tinatanong ng mga members. That's one. Pangalawa po, ang audit report for 2023 ay hindi pa po posted ng COA. So hindi pa alam ng ating mga members, pati ng ating mga kababayan. And that's the reason for why marami pong nakalista sa ngayon. There are 14 members who wish to ask questions. So kung sana po mamarapati natin, ay papayagan natin ang ating mga miyembro na magtanong. Kasi meron silang mga genuine na curiosity talaga dito sa budget ng OVP. So yun lang po. Kaya payagan na muna natin and later on let's decide kung anong gusto natin gawin dito sa budget ng OVP.
Madam Chair.
Yes po.
Yeah, I would accede to that, Madam Chair, but let me just explain further. No? I was asked, what if the Vice President would not come to the briefing? No? Sabi ko, that's fine. As long as other officials of the OVP that could be able to answer us concerning the budget would come, Madam Chair.
Yes.
But there's no one here.
Thank
Secondly,
you.
Madam Chair,
We have already...
I would like to remind our people that are listening right now, this is not just one congressman, this is a collegial body. And being a collegial body, as given the mandate by the Constitution, to brief and ask questions concerning the budget, the fact that the head of the agency is not here today is further giving an insult to the body here, and that is, I think, would be unconstitutional, Madam Chair. Yun lang po ang gusto kong sabihin. And I would accede that we should continue on. Thank you.
Salamat po. And again, continuing with the proceedings does not mean that this is an acceptable situation. Ang sinasabi lang po natin is, let us take advantage of the presence of our very hardworking members of GOA and DBM. Pagkakataon na po na malaman ang hindi natin nalalaman tungkol sa budget ng OVP. Next is from the majority. We have the Honorable Jervil Luistro.
Good morning, Madam Chair, and good morning to all the esteemed colleagues and our resource speakers. First of all, I just wish to make a very short manifestation on the issue earlier. This representation could not relate to the cherished and long-standing tradition because this is the first term of this representation. Nonetheless, I understand that by that tradition, we're supposed to extend parliamentary courtesy, and by which we're not supposed to raise questions on the budget of the OVP. However, Madam Chair, I wish to ask the committee if we will be always submitting to this tradition, what happens to the constitutional provision on public office is a public trust, and that we should always be accountable to the people. While this representation differ to the wisdom of the senior members, I wish to manifest that I, and I hope along with the new breed of legislators, are inclined to honor the tradition, contrary to the manifestation of the Honorable Marcoleta. However, Madam Chair, what happens if the tradition is not sufficient? What happens if the tradition is not effective? What happens if the tradition does not unite and instead it divides? Let us all remember that in all parliamentary proceedings, the majority always rule. And it is on this light that I wish to commend the chair for immediately proceeding to the division of the House. And when the committee voted for no, it has rendered the issue, yes, moot and academic. And I concede to the Honorable Garin that even this representation disregard this rule. That is a manifestation, Madam Chair.